This project began in a Shabbat service last fall. During my sermon, I announced that over the course of the year, I would be collecting anecdotes and pictures with the intention of creating a video about Temple Sholom. Over the past several months, multiple generations of Temple members have contributed to this endeavor, memorializing and honoring the men and women who have made and who continue to make Temple Sholom so welcoming and wonderful. We hope that you enjoy this celebration of Temple Sholom, a historic congregation in Springfield, Ohio.
This congregation was the original union of Reformed congregations.
Right.
And I attended this when I was president of this congregation, went to New York, and we received an award as a founding congregation on the 100th anniversary of the congregation. When I got here in 63, we called to speak to someone in the Jewish community, wanted to know about what was available, and they said, well, there's a very small Orthodox community, but there's a major community is Reform. Yeah, and at that time, this was not only the center for worship, but it was also the Jewish Community Center. And I remember that Friday nights everybody would want to come to services because they knew not only could they participate in the service, but they could see everybody. It was a social event, and everybody would come.
In my mind, Temple Sholom is always synonymous with the rabbi who was here when I was a child, and that was Rabbi Melvin Helfgott. Wonderful man, wonderful family, and among the many memories I have of him was his love of music and of Jewish music. I remember a couple of things. He had one of those wonderful, huge stereos in the rabbi's office, those ones from the 1950s that were as big as a sofa, and he would always have records playing on there.
People were always so nice to me and to Jay and I both when we came here. We weren't really members at the time. We came here because of Jay's parents, Sam and Ida, and we came here often for the holidays. But our wedding ceremony was just lovely.
Bev Weiser, and they introduced themselves, and I said, I'm Nance Parent. And of course, they were hard of hearing, Lillian was, and she'd say, Parent? What kind of Jewish name is Parent? Like, I'm standing there. I'm standing looking at her. And Rabbi Gewirtz taught me to say, tell them your grandmother's name is Zeman. Because it is, and my father's side. And so I said, well, my grandmother's name is Zeman. Oh, Zeman! Nice to meet you.
For me, my bat mitzvah was the point where I really came, that's kind of the point where I fell in love with being Jewish. Because, I mean, you have the people that, they say they're Jewish, but they don't really acknowledge the fact that they are. And that was the moment where I appreciate being Jewish.
I just remember for my bar mitzvah it was great because I didn't know Hebrew before my bar mitzvah, and in the 10 months that I was learning, I learned Hebrew, but it was great because I really became involved with my religion and with the temple.
Since 1866, this congregation has been known by different names: Ohev Tzedakah, the South Fountain Avenue Temple Congregation, and finally Temple Sholom. Under each of these titles, the community has remained warm, welcoming, and deeply committed to Judaism. It is a congregation made up of people who support one another, and it is a community that embraces every person who walks through their doors.